So when I moved here, I started meeting very like-minded people. Like, I had like-minded people in LA where it was loving music. Never even knew that existed. And same thing in Dallas. But then I had the people that loved music and the outdoors here. Mm-hmm. And I started meeting more and more. And I was like, man, this is cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just have a little community here of friends and buddies and girls and guys who love to hunt and fish.
The award-winning Tennessee WildCast is on the air with the latest on hunting, fishing, boating, wildlife watching, and all things outdoors. Make welcome your host, drummer and outdoor expert novice, Jason Harmon.
All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Tennessee WildCast. We're glad you're tuning in. Thanks for watching and listening. We are back in Studio B this week, and Mr. Don King is over here helping me co-host.
Yes, sir. Jason, thanks for the invite. I'm looking forward to this one. We got Music Row Outdoors.
Yeah, I'm excited
here today.
Yeah. So. We're going to have fun talking about hunting and outdoor stuff and music.
And the whole shebang.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, we got Mr. Abram Dean with us. He's the founder of Music Row Outdoors and a musician and songwriter, and it's going to be fun. Thanks for being here.
Dude, thank y'all for having me. I'm a fan of the podcast, so being in here is kind of surreal.
All right, all right.
We got a big fan in the house. That's cool.
I love it.
We're glad you're here. Thanks for tuning us in and following us.
For sure.
We try to get the word out there about Tennessee outdoors and hope that people enjoy the show. And it's fun. We're on 22 radio stations now, or 23 stations.
Yeah. Amazing.
So do you want to give a radio shout out, Don, today?
I am totally unprepared, Jason, but thanks to all our radio. We'll do that.
Yeah,
for
all the
right
stations.
Now.
Yeah, we appreciate them all.
Well, I tell you what, we'll just do WSM. That's a very visible one right here in Nashville, and we appreciate them. WSM 650 on your AM dial, and lots of other places that you can get WSM too. But anyway, we appreciate them as one of our radio partners. How's that?
Yeah, that's great.
All right.
Hey, I never thought about it. WSM reaches a long way.
Oh yeah, all around the world.
Yeah, so we're nationwide.
Yeah, heck yeah.
No, and appreciate folks out there following us on social, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Following the podcast on iTunes and your favorite podcast platform. So we appreciate everybody out there.
Yeah.
Well, let's jump in today with Abram Dean, Music Row Outdoors. We connected. I guess I was scrolling Instagram and found your page, and somehow we connected. I can't remember what connected the dots there, but tell us a bit about yourself and how that kind of got started. I guess introduce yourself and who you are and where you're from and that kind of thing first.
That music story is interesting. Let's start with the music side, and then we'll get back to the outdoor.
I guess my name's Abram Dean, and I'm originally from Mechanicsville, Virginia, just outside of Richmond. And I was big into sports growing up.
Yeah.
But then, as it happens, a girl popped up in middle school, and I was like, I like you so much. I want to what's going on? She loved the Jonas Brothers, of all people. And I was like, I'll be a Jonas Brother for you. And music and sports started doing this, and picked up the guitar. My mom led praise and worship at church, and my dad ran sound, so it was kind of natural to pick up the guitar. Started writing songs. I didn't even know that could lead to a career in music. And the rest is history. My sister actually put me into a local talent competition called Hanover Idol. That'd be like Franklin Idol or whatever it is, whatever.
Depending on where you're from.
Yeah, depending on where you're from. And I sang a song that I wrote by myself and won. And I liked the attention. I was I kind of like this.
Yeah.
And
what was the name of that song? Put you on the spot.
Talk to me, I think it was, because she wouldn't talk to me. So I was literally like, talk to. She was sitting there too. It was so awkward. And I never.
She
played
was in
for,
the audience.
She was in the audience.
Oh wow!
And I had never played for anybody. And the first time I ever did it ever, and it was infectious. Yeah, it was like this whole thing's been a God thing, man. From Virginia to California to Tennessee, it's just been. I mean, in Texas, it's just been one door after another.
I can see that scene playing out in a Hallmark movie. There's that moment. There's the girl in the front row, and there's the guy singing to her.
Yeah. What's that city we were just talking about?
Dahlonega.
Yeah, let's go to Dahlonega. Let's film a movie. Let's do it.
So how'd that turn out? I gotta know. Did you end up?
Oh, she went to college, and that was it.
Oh, okay.
I moved for music. So I was 15, going on 16, and I found a vocal coach out in Texas.
Okay.
And my family, it was kind of like, let's do this. Let's jump all in. If you're going to do this, we're going to provide for you, which is such a blessing.
Yeah.
And went to Texas just for the thought of doing like a summer camp or something like that. And it turned into we have a master program, and you would have to move here. And the vocal coach that's taught Nick Lachey, Beyonce, Selena Gomez, it was Dallas being a Disney hub.
Oh, yeah.
So all these Disney kids came from there, and they're like, she takes on 10 singers a year to work with them. I was 15, 16. And I said, I went out there and auditioned. Didn't think I would make it. There's probably like 800 kids auditioning.
Yeah, right. I'm sure that was
And
stiff competition.
It was. And I got the call a week later after I was in school. The principal, who was that girl's mom, called me into the office, and she's like, "You got it." Yeah, that girl. I'm not going to name names. But she called me in the office, and she said, "You got it." And then I like bawled. I was just bawling. It was amazing. And so moved to Dallas, I guess, a few months later, and fell in love with it. Did 2 years there, and then we took a trip out to LA for a conference, and I met a producer and a manager out there, and they wanted to work with me. And so I moved out to LA. Like I said, doors just opening.
Yeah.
And never thought I'd go to LA. I mean, I grew up on country music, but one of our next door neighbors was Jason Mraz. So all the influence. My sister loved NSYNC. So there's a lot of influence going on there. So and the Jonas Brothers too, of all people.
Well, she liked the Jonas Brothers. The
she
girlfriend.
loved them. Yeah, she loved the Jonas Brothers. So I was like, I'll be a Jonas Brother for you. And so yeah, I moved out to LA, and turns out the third session I ever had, because that producer had actually produced the Jonas Brothers, third songwriting session I've ever had was with Nick Jonas, and I was like, this is weird, full circle.
Wow,
Never said anything to him about that, but it was cool.
You didn't tell him that story.
No, I didn't tell him that story. And so then from there, I rode out there for 4 years. Some things started to happen. Had an Andy Grammer song, had some Disney stuff, and then a trip, I guess a random trip to Nashville for songwriting, because pop country was really starting to become a thing. And she was like, go out to Nashville, I think you'd love it. And like my publisher was like, I think it fits you, because she knew like I hunted when I went back home and all this kind of stuff. And she's like, I think Nashville would fit you. And she always gave me a hard time about it, but it is what it is. And I took a trip to Nashville. 2 days in, fell in love with the city.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is where I want to be. I'm a 10-hour drive from my family in Virginia. I'm doing what I'm called to do in life, and I can hunt here.
Yeah.
And I should have hunted there. Y'all don't know. The mule deer that I saw in L.A. Or Burbank outside, oh my, I missed an opportunity, but I was grinding, so I'm glad I didn't, but my focus would have been elsewhere. But
yeah. Well, so I guess music is what kind of started the Music Grow Outdoors side of things, right?
Yes.
The Instagram and the website. Is there other places people can connect?
So right now we're in the building phase. So the funny thing, to go off of what you just said, so when I moved here, I started meeting very like-minded people. Like, no, I had like-minded people in LA where it was loving music. Never even knew that existed, and same thing in Dallas. But then I had the people that love music and the outdoors here. And I started meeting more and more. And I was like, man, this is cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just have a little community here of friends and buddies and girls and guys who love to hunt and fish. And I was like, there's got to be something we can put on, like an event or something where we can bring all these people together, because a lot of them didn't even know each other.
Yeah.
Small town, small business, but still a lot of people didn't know each other. And it came to me one day. I was like, Music Grow. We all know Music Grow, where all the songs are written. And I was like, outdoors. And I was like, Music Grow Outdoors. Man, that has a ring to it. And honestly, it just sat with me for 2 years or a year before I ever did anything with it. And I was like, let's make a T-shirt or something and put on an event, like a venison chili cook-off or something like that. And we did, and a lot of people showed up. Actually, it was a writer's round. We did a writer's round first at the listening room.
Those are popular. Those are great.
It was great, and it was all outdoors themed, and we got to give to conservation, NWTF, and QDMA at the time, and so it was not even with people. I had people come up to me after the show that in attendance that knew nothing about the outdoors, but wanted to know more. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But the cool thing, back to the songwriters, was afterwards in the green room, they're meeting each other. The first round's meeting the second round. They're like, Abram, what did you do? Like, we don't know each other. Now we're going to go fishing. And I see on Instagram the guys fishing together now, and I love it. I just love it, being able to bring people together. That's been
and
the main
there's
thing.
songs coming together
Oh,
from
for
that
sure.
too.
For sure. And hunting trips and lifelong memories.
Yeah,
So
that's great.
it's been pretty cool.
Yeah, it's kind of that R3 thing going
Well,
on.
I
out
was
there.
just thinking that. I was just going to say, man, we've been doing a thing called R3. I don't know
Okay.
if you're familiar with it,
I'm
but
not.
recruitment, retention, and reactivation.
Awesome.
It's the 3 R's, trying to get folks back reintroduced to the outdoors or back out there if you've done it, or in your youth and kind of got away from it, in the college years or whatever, and
It's important.
or first timers too. Like you were saying, folks come up to you afterward and say, I want to learn more about this.
Yeah.
I want to learn how to do that. So that's cool.
And I guess too, with like if you grew up with land and then your grandparents passed away or something like that, and then you didn't have access to land.
Right.
And people don't know what to do and they just stop. But then they still have that urge to go fishing or go hunting. It's something like that. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, since we're on the Music Row side of things, how do people find?
Right
find
now,
your stuff.
Right now we have musicrowoutdoors.com.
Okay.
And blessed to have that. And we also have Music Row Outdoors on Instagram. So just all typed out, all lowercase, if it's cap sensitive.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Instagram we usually we repost a lot. Like if it's Mitchell Tenpenny or somebody shoots a deer, we'll repost it and just be able to show that music community that they're out there. If Dallas Davidson catches a fish, boom, a picture of Dallas Davidson. And then we'll post about some giveaways or post about some merch, and we have that coming this year too, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing. You hear the songwriters and the singers singing about the outdoors, but they really do.
Yeah.
The outdoors. They're out there. It's not just a front, A lot of them. Some folks may have a song that sings about they're singing about this, but it's not really who they are. But most of these people, they're outdoorsmen and they love it.
I can speak to it. It's my release. It's literally if I'm not writing songs 5 days a week, if I have a day off, I'm doing something outdoor. I'm going to summer. I'm checking the trail camera. Or at night, I'm scrolling on Onyx, just looking at like how can I make this better, and or fishing or hunting or anything. Like it's cold. It's just getting cold right now. It feels like deer season.
Yeah, that's right.
It feels good.
It is deer season.
It is.
Yeah.
But it didn't feel like it for a
feel
little.
like it was a hot front side of October. That reminded me when you said Onyx, refer a friend. If you go to our website, tmwildlife.org, and go to the refer a friend section, there is a discount there.
That's right.
Perk for Onyx. So if you're listening and want to try that app and download that, it's a great app. But we also have great maps on our website. Our GIS folks do a good job. So.
They do, and we're trying to update that all the time, with new video and things where you can click on a point and actually see it.
Yeah.
Get a
That's pretty
visual.
cool.
So
Yeah.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that out.
Our folks are
on top of
wizards
on top
down there.
of it.
Yeah. So before the show, we were talking. You mentioned how you kind of got away from the outdoors, traveling and going west and coming back. And so tell us a little bit how you get back into it. What your story there of reconnecting with the outdoors and learning new things?
I think naturally it was just like a focus thing, and like when I moved to Texas, it was in the back of my mind. It was only a when I go home, I'll go hunt with my grandpa on my grandparents' land that I grew up hunting on.
Yeah.
And it was like, I can't wait to go back. I can't wait to go back and do that. And remind me about turkeys later, because I didn't hunt turkeys until a few years ago.
Oh, okay.
And I just looked at them on my grandparents' land. I was like, whatever, stupid birds. Then I hunted them, and I was like, this is a game changer.
New world.
Welcome to Tennessee.
I know, welcome to Tennessee, and back in Virginia and everywhere. It's just, man. But yeah, so Dallas, I was just so focused on, my next steps. My family's investing in me, and I need to make this happen. So I was just focused. Grind. LA, grind. I saw it, and I was like, man, look at this mule deer. man, look at this is amazing. There's desert and farmland right outside of LA. I was like, if I could go back, I probably wouldn't change anything because I was so focused and getting to that next step and letting that next door open that we talked about earlier. And it just wasn't a thing you really did out in LA. It was kind of, or didn't mention for sure. I was in a session once, and there's I met a lot of hunters out there that grew up with it or fished or something outdoors related.
They tend to keep it to themselves,
or had no issue with it.
Right.
And because their grandfather did or their dad did.
Sure.
And or other family members. And so I was in a session once, and again, won't name names, but I was sitting there, and I was like, they were like, "What are you doing for Christmas?" I was like, "Man, I'm gonna go home," and it was a girl and a guy in the room, and I'm gonna go home and check out for the whole month. The music industry really shuts down in December into New Year's. I was like, I'm just gonna go home and enjoy my family, hang out with high school friends, go hunting with my grandpa, and this kept going. And then about 5 minutes later, she said, "You said hunting, like, what do you hunt?" And I just felt it. I was like, oh no. And I was like, deer, turkey. I was like, whatever's in season. Like right when I go home for Christmas, it'll be deer. And it just got real quiet. And the producer turned and looked at me. He's like, just the corner of his eye. He's like, "What did you just do?" And then she starts bawling her eyeballs out.
Oh, man.
We didn't get a song that day.
Man.
But I was like, yep, time to move to Tennessee. So literally I was in the process of thinking about it. And it just all came together.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for hunting or outdoors, but it's just been a cherry on top of moving here and getting to do what I love and what I'm called to do in life.
Yeah. So if it's the cherry on top, what's been your favorite part about Tennessee hunting?
Probably relearning how to hunt.
Okay.
Because like I was saying earlier, grandparents' land growing up, as most of us did, we hunted field edges. Well, there's nothing wrong hunting field edges if it's the right time or the right place.
Yeah, I do.
And same. But I didn't have a lot of timber to work with on my grandparents' land, so the idea of sportsmanship was out the window, or woodsmanship. Sorry,
Gotcha.
Sportsmanship. So like knowing what a track and where it was, and knowing what rubs and scrapes and how they use them and how they use terrain and all that kind of stuff, and breaking it down to put myself in the best spot, that was non-existent. And what was the question one more time to get to that?
Yeah, just coming back to Tennessee, what was the cherry on top? What's your favorite part?
So like literally being able to have buddies that understood that, and then also opened me up to a whole new world. Like it was like relearning everything again for the first time, and which led to podcast and finding a guy named Cody D'Acquisto, who is the son of Andre D'Acquisto, legend in the whitetail world, and they have Lone Wolf Custom Gear and Whitetail Addictions, which I'm blessed to be a part of now. Okay. I was just a fan from afar, and I was diving into that knowledge, and I threw everything I knew about hunting, because it wasn't working for me, out the window, and I relearned everything. I was like in kindergarten learning everything about deer, and I started being a little bit more mobile, checking sign and whatnot, and started having instant success. Like my last year, 2 years ago, my deer season ended like that, and I was just like, this is the biggest deer I've ever killed in my life, and 2 of them within a week.
Wow.
And I was like, there's something to this. And I met Andre at ATA show, and I told him about it. He's like, dude, we gotta talk. And I guess I reached out to them later, and we started talking, and they asked me to be a part of Whitetail Addictions, and I've been blessed to learn so much from roughly 15, 20 guys on that team.
Yeah.
Learn so much from them. We have a Facebook page together. We all ask each other questions. And it's just been insane to learn from these guys and be able to put that into my own hunting scenarios here in Tennessee, Illinois, Virginia. And it's just changed the game for me and the way I hunt too. Just being super mobile and the gear I use and all that jazz.
Neat.
So was the big deer in Tennessee, or was it a out-of-state deer?
So they're about the same now. I had an Illinois and a Tennessee. They're the same, but the one that changed it for me was in Tennessee, and I had hunted him. I had pictures of him for 2.5 years, and I was like, I never saw him in person except the first time I went to go check the camera. I checked the camera. I didn't have my glasses on. I had light stigmatism far off, and I saw this giant deer at the camera, and I was
His
like,
silhouette.
Yeah, it was the last time I was going to check it before the season, and I was like, what did I just see? I just saw drop tine and all this stuff, and I was like, that's the biggest deer of my life. Went and checked the camera. I was like, that's the biggest deer of my life. And for 2 years after that, I chased that deer. I was like, that is the only deer that was on my mind, and never saw him on the hoof and didn't even think he existed anymore because he disappeared. And then I got one picture of him, and I just so happened to check my camera 2 days before, and while I went in to hunt, and I was like, he's here, and he's bigger. And literally went in, dove in deeper, set up, found a community scrape, set up over the community scrape, 15 yards. It was, believe it or not, I'm a big moon guy, believe in the moon rise, moon overhead, moon underfoot. It's a game changer. And right at moonrise at 1:07 p.m., he came out of the bedding area. I was right next. It was windy that day, so I was able to set up right next to his bedding area, and I was just praying and hoping he was in there. Literally heard him get out of bed. I look, there he is, 20 yards eating acorns right at moonrise, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. Just moving my bow.
I bet you.
And I
shaking.
get ready, and he just has his head down, and he goes to that scrape, starts working it, and I let the arrow fly, and I bawled like a baby. I was like, this.
Yeah.
You can't beat this.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like remorse for the animal at the same time after 2 years, but at the same time it was like, thank you, Lord. Like I was calling him. I was like, I got him.
It's exciting to be out there, even if it's a doe. Sometimes, I mean, it's exciting.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if it's a giant or
No, a doe, a spike, anything.
They come walking in. I mean, you can get the shakes. It's adrenaline rush.
And I enjoy most of the summer practices too, just checking cameras or putting out minerals for them or driving around and seeing them. That's probably my favorite time, is just watching them. So people think, you just want to kill a deer. No, I don't. I'd just rather, if I had to pick one, I'd watch them for the rest of my life.
Yeah, a healthy respect.
Yeah, for sure. They're an amazing animal.
Well, what's your life like on public land? Do you hunt public land here in Tennessee?
I want to get into it.
Yeah.
So I haven't. My buddy just started this year. He's like, dude, you got to come with me on public land.
Yeah, you have to, yeah.
Because this year I don't have a deer on any of my permission properties that I want to go after. So I've just been chilling and saying, I'll wait for Illinois. I got a trip coming up.
Yeah.
And, but he's been like, come with me on public land. So I might do that this week or something like that. But
Yeah,
I want to. I really want to. I'm a big hunting public fan. I love what they do and how they're teaching people woodsmanship. And again, I've learned so much from them.
Yeah.
But and stuff like that. So I really do want to dive into that.
Well, you could take what you've learned for sure and apply that on public land.
Big time.
You know what you're doing now.
Big time.
Yeah. You can apply that and sneak in there and
big time.
Because I think there's a lot of public land with a lot of potential that doesn't get explored by a lot of hunters. They'll park pretty close to the area to access the edge, and as you were saying, and an open field somewhere, and they'll hang there, but they won't necessarily dig deep and go into
a few miles in or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That crazy like that. I mean, hey, more respect. But yeah, I've heard so many great things about public land here from people out of state or in state. Like they're like, there's a lot of spots that just aren't overhunted, and so I'm looking forward to diving into that here very soon.
You mentioned turkey earlier, so we'll jump to turkey. Public land turkey hunting is great. We did that this year and got lucky. I killed a bird on Pea Ridge.
Awesome.
I mean, there's a
Congrats.
lot of birds out there. But you have to work for them.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. But what's your turkey story? We can't leave without that.
They were on my grandparents' land, and I was just like, oh, stupid birds. Like, I'm not going to hunt you. And I know, because you could see them all the time. And I hunted them. And then I was like, this is the best thing ever. and it's more community for me. For like deer hunting, I'm literally a lone wolf. Like I'm by myself, and like even my dad now, he's like, you go that way, I'll go this way. He understands. And because it's hang and hunt for me. But turkey hunting, bringing a buddy, bringing my dad, grandpa, friends, like just being able to have that little bit of, and the vocal aspect.
Yeah.
Somebody who hasn't hunted before, turkey hunting is the best thing to get into, because right in the morning, off the roost, bah. It's infectious.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law, I took him hunting for 3 years, just like, come deer hunting with me, come deer hunting with me. And he was cold. We never saw a deer on my grandparents' land in Virginia. And he was just, obviously, anybody wouldn't enjoy that.
Yeah.
And so for 3 years of not seeing anything, I'm just going to go sit with you in the freezing cold. and then I fell in love with turkey hunting. And I was like, Greg, you've got to go turkey hunting with me. Just trust me one more time. And he's like, okay, whatever, it's be a little warmer. And we went turkey hunting. And I looked at him the first time that first bird rang off on the limb. And it was right here, too.
Yeah.
We were in a bend in the road, and there's a pond here. And I was like, this is a great roosting area. Had no idea it was our tree that we were sitting on. And so you can imagine the roar of that gobble.
Oh, man.
Breaking out in that timber.
You
the first
probably
roar.
jumped.
Oh, I heard him spitting at first, and I was like, I had enough experience at that point that I was like, that's a bird. This is gonna be pretty good. and then I was just kept my eyes on him, and then eventually that bird rang out, and he was like, he looked, his eyes got so big, and he just glanced over at me. He was like, dude, what was that? And I was like, just be quiet. Decoys are there. Let's see what happens. And that bird, it pitched down behind us, of course, away from the decoys. We worked them all day. And then in Virginia, it's a 12 o'clock noon cutoff. At 11:57, we killed that bird.
Oh, wow.
And it was awesome. We just kept on going back and forth with him and trying to call him. And it worked. And it was his first bird, first hunt. And he was hooked.
Oh,
now he's got
man.
turkey calls. He's all about it now. The turkey hunting's his thing. But anybody out there that's wanting to get into hunting or wanting to get somebody into hunting, turkey hunting.
Yeah.
Or fishing. But I'm more of like deer and turkey hunting guy. But turkey hunting, to get somebody in the woods, is the best thing.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
But there could be other things. But in my opinion, it's turkey hunting. There's nothing like it.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I never turkey hunted until I moved to Middle Tennessee, and it's fun. And we didn't have birds back home, not as many as we do here.
Where are you
but,
originally from?
out in East Tennessee.
Okay.
Yeah, down
Okay.
around Decatur. So yeah, it's just didn't have that opportunity. Didn't see the birds, but
Yeah.
moving to Middle Tennessee, it's the place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for turkey hunting. And West Tennessee's great too.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Well, this has been fun.
Yeah, it has been. It has been.
We'll have to have you back. Maybe bring a guitar and sing a song or two.
I wook up with that cold weather. I was around a fire in cold weather this last night, and I woke up and I was like, I don't have my voice, but I can sing Baby Lock Them Door. I was really low, so I was like, I don't know if they're going to like that. So I called you ahead of time. I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. That's all right. I think it's been fun. It'll be fun to have you back, and we can do a
Yeah,
song
there'll
or
be
two.
some
love it.
songs shared here around the poker table, I'm sure.
Yeah, we could do maybe a songwriter round or something. That'd
Yeah,
be fun.
that'd be
Let Dawn
fun.
sing one or two.
That would be cool. I can set that up.
Yeah, bring all kinds of guests. It'd be fun.
Yeah. Thank y'all so much. This has been cool. Surreal.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you. And if you haven't seen Music Row Outdoors, go visit their Instagram page, Music Row Outdoors, and the website, musicrowoutdoors.com.
Thank y'all.
And it's pretty cool stuff out there. And we've had a few guests from the community, and
Yeah.
we'll continue to have more. And
Yeah.
it'll be fun.
Yeah.
All about it. We're all about it. It's all we do.
Yeah.
That and write songs.
Outdoors and music. You don't get much
Outdoors
better
and
than that.
Oh, man, I know it. That's a
Blessing.
cherry on top. You bet.
For sure.
All right. Well, thank you, Abram. Thank you, Don.
You bet.
Thank you.
And this is Tennessee WildCast. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in. Stay connected with TWRA by visiting our website at tnwildlife.org and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hey, it's all about Tennessee wildlife. It's what we do. Tennessee WildCast will be on the air again next week. We'll see you then.